You know, the more I think about it, the more the docking and ending scenes just seem a little bit sus to me, and thanks to this Japanese YouTuber, I knew I wasn't alone in his thought. I mean, Kira and Laka's docked and engaged during the battle to show Orphe what love is, before they meet on the beach naked and fuse their... Wait, what was that? Guys? I don't... feel so... What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam from Gundam CCE Freedom, the actual hero suit of the movie. It is formed by docking the Strike Freedom Type 2 with the Proud Defender, and has turned the tides of battle with its God mode nanoparticles and weapons. Unlike what I've cynically assumed before its reveal, the high-grade Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam is made of 10 entirely new runners besides the additional SB13 beams, a set of stickers, and a set of 3D metallic stickers. And having built two variants of the high-grade Cosmic Era Strike Freedom before this, I can fully attest that the Mighty feels nothing like the previous ones thanks to the CCE action system. Though if you've built the Rising Freedom before this, you'll feel a heavy sense of familiarity as a lot of the internals share the same construction. It's worth noting that some of the pieces use very large gates, and the placement of them isn't all that great like those on the heels and beam rifles. With richer and darker plastics being susceptible to nasty nut marks, you will need elbow grease and paint or a lot of finesse to clean those up. Otherwise, it feels like your standard high-grade CCE Freedom build, being that it's slightly more involved and lengthier than the average high-grade, but still manageable for beginners. On that note, while the head and legs can be swapped with the universal standard kits, the arms are only compatible with CCE action system kits, while the torso and waist units are even more restricted. Though the backpack is also universally compatible, so you can mount the Proud Defender onto other kits with the double peg connection, or use the original Strike Freedom backpack to revert the kit back to the Strike Freedom Type 2. Though something about those looks just doesn't sit right with me and I don't know why, but the colors of the DX version definitely help ease the uncanniness. Back to the Mighty Strike Freedom now, and it's not only an impressive looking model kit, but also a clear sign as to why simple is better. Starting off, I like how they chose to go with the black secondary color and richer accents like the Deluxe Strike Freedom, as that pops more from the primarily white color scheme. Part separation is insanely good as well, since parts as small as the leg vents and thrusters were given a separate light gray piece to give some subtle accenting like the shoulders and contribute to its visual accuracy. Moreover, currently visible stickers are isolated to the eyes and head sensors, as well as the blue trim on the Proud Defender, with the only missing paint jobs being the red insides of the leg vents and the grey on the head vulcans. There are also virtually no seam lines to clean up after. Though one of the visual selling points is the realistic metallic gloss injection used for the gold pieces, and while it does look more tolerable than standard injection thanks to the color tone, it still has nothing on coated finishes and paint. Moreover, it still suffers from the common flaws of injection gold, having embedded swirls and leaving behind nasty nut marks due to the lack of undergates, in a similar vein to the ones on the heels with no way to clean them up besides paint. And even though it's interesting that the gold frame glows under UV, this also reveals that not all the gold is molded in a special injection one, and while it doesn't make much of a difference under normal light, it's still a little bit weird. On a similar note, while the Strike Freedom designs don't differ much beyond slight armor tweaks, a comparison of the two kits not only shows us the subtle differences, but also how the proportions were updated to be more attuned to Okawada's source design, without looking absolutely ridiculous like the old high-grade CCE kits, most prominently in the head and face sculpts, and the everlasting debates of where the chest cannon should be, like how this image format is pronounced. All in all, the high-grade Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam not only looks impressive out of the box except for the nut marks, but also visually distinct compared to the original Strike Freedom, though the preferred proportions and gold treatment is up to your personal preference. Articulation-wise, the ball and hinge neck joint provides the head with a wide range of movement. The shoulders can swing forward and up with the independent shoulder armor for the arms to call the teacher, while the shoulders themselves are ball jointed. There's a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and ball jointed sleeves, and wrists. The abs can crunch widely in all directions, while the waist can roll and rotate all the way. Front and side skirts can move, while the pelvis can unhitch and fold down for some cross-legged action, besides the normal front and sideward kicks. There's a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, a slightly movable thruster piece, and a ball jointed ankle piece that accommodates the hinged ball jointed ankles that possess moving toes. Finally, the wings can rotate and flap at the base, as well as open up individually, while the gold sections has some further separation, and the sword holster can rotate independently. Altogether, articulation of the Mighty Strike Freedom is extremely flexible thanks to the seat action system frame, and perhaps thanks to the glossy injection plastic, the structural rigidity is fairly solid throughout. Though not only is it quite back heavy, the neck is jointed on the bottom instead of the top of the collar, so you can easily get a bobblehead if the neck is dislocated, which is a bit annoying. For accessories, the kit comes with a pair of holding and open hats, which is awfully generous considering previous releases. Weapons are similar to that of the original, starting with the high energy beam rifles. They look nigh identical to the original pair with stickers for all the blue trims, the red on the barrels, and the scopes. This time they sandwich into the hands instead of sliding in and can be plugged directly onto the side skirts for storage after storing away the handles. Besides that, they can also combine into a long range beam rifle in a similar fashion to the original pair. Apart from being sandwiched into the hands for use, the combined rifle can be plugged onto the basket for storage as well after swiveling the middle scope to the other side. Next is the pair of Acuta Lacerda beam sabers that feature a decent amount of surface detail and can be slid into the hands for use with the included SB13 beams, or be slotted into the tops of the side skirts for storage, but they're still prone to being knocked off. Moreover, a separate coupled hilt is included for their ambidextrous form if you would prefer. For defense, a polarized effect part can be sandwiched into the armguards to activate the Egregie beam shield, while the Volans Hasta railguns can fold up for use with no extension mechanics. Its only new handheld weapon is the anti-ship sword known as Futsuno Mitama, which not only features full color separation sans missing gold on the pommel, but also has a blade that is molded with two textures, namely a rough ridge and a smooth edge. Apart from sliding into the hands for use, it can also be clipped onto the backpack for storage. Finally, the wings feature sliding panels to reveal the beautiful pink 3D metallic stickers to activate its nanoparticle dispersal. With that, the yellow head antennas can be replaced with an alternate version with the deployed disruptor cannon, which features high levels of internal detail. The open head crest uses stickers to supplement its color, and while it's understandable and they do their jobs well, it's not necessarily ideal. Finally, the Proud Defender can slide up to undock from the Gundam, and a 3mm port is provided to display it separately on an action base. As a bonus, the handheld railgun from the Galguk Menace fits snugly into the hands with no armor restrictions causing awkwardness in use, but there isn't a way to mount it onto the side or the back skirts for storage. To be honest, I was disappointed that the main final battle units were rehashes of their predecessors for the most part, and while the high grade takes the new design part quite literally by building it from the ground up with the seat action system, I can't help but feel impressed and let down at the same time. On a technical level, the high grade Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam achieved a lot with its visuals and functionality, most notably with the double textured blade for the katana, thin sliding panels on the wings, and a worry-free process for deploying the disruptor. Otherwise, they do what they need to in providing an accurate model kit with great out-of-box visuals, wide flexibility, and a solid set of gimmicks. However, if you look past the hype, the high-grade Mighty Strike Freedom is exactly what it appears to be, a slightly redesigned high-grade Strike Freedom with a new backpack and sword, with a slight dose of large gates, weird engineering, and problematic beam saber stores thrown in as well, and an inconsistent use of a goal that doesn't look as special as the marketing would want you to believe. Though those issues are easily fixable with a slight bit of effort, and the rest of the offerings are enough to satisfy me. In the end, I think the moment you give into the massive hype is when the high-grade Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam would seem to fall short. Otherwise, it's just as recommendable as the original Strike Freedom, with the visuals and gimmicks being the key changes to consider. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.